Welcome to the vocabulary lesson for financial liberation. Let's start. In the beginning, we see the word materialist. While the materialist is mainly interested in goods, a materialist is someone who values things, including money. And usually it has the idea someone who values things more than people. Someone who values things more than love. Someone who values things and money more than beauty. So material means things. So a materialist, a person who likes things more than people. And we get the definition in this sentence. A materialist is mainly interested in goods. Well, goods are things. Actually, goods usually are things for sale, things that we can buy. We call those goods sometimes. So goods, it's a noun, goods. And we say, that company has a lot of goods. It means they have a lot of things that they sell. Okay, so goods as a noun means things, stuff that we sell. All right, and then the next phrase says, the Buddhist is mainly interested in liberation. Okay, here, liberation means freedom. Liberation means freedom. So the Buddhist is mostly interested in freedom. So it's a contrast. We compare. A materialist is interested in things, in goods. A Buddhist is mostly interested in freedom, in liberation. Okay, the next sentence, Buddhism is the middle way, and therefore in no way antagonistic to physical well-being. Okay, so he's talking about Buddhism, and he's saying it's the middle way. Middle way means not too much, not too high, not too low, in the middle. It means balanced, the balanced way. Okay, so therefore, Buddhism is not antagonistic to physical well-being. Okay, well-being means health. Physical well-being means your body is healthy, it's strong. It can also, this sentence, it means maybe having enough money, having enough food, having enough physical things. So Buddhism is not antagonistic to having enough things. Antagonistic means against. Against. It means to be an enemy against something. Buddhism is not against money. Buddhism is not against having enough clothes, having enough food, for example. It's not against those. He's saying it's in no way against, in no way antagonistic. Antagonistic. Okay, means aggressive, against, fighting against. Okay, and then it continues. Wealth, meaning a lot of money. It's not wealth that stands in the way of liberation. Stands in the way means to block, to prevent. So to block or prevent liberation. Stand in the way of liberation. It's the attachment to wealth that's the problem. So Buddhism says, at least according to this guy who's saying this, who wrote this, he says that Buddhism is not against money. Buddhism is not against wealth, meaning a lot of money. It's against attachment to money, attachment to wealth. And to be attached means you need something very much. You hold on to it and you need it and you want it and you think about it all the time. So he's saying that having a lot of money is fine for Buddhists, but holding on to the money and needing the money, attached to the money, connected to. So attachment means connection, strong, strong connection. So he's saying the attachment to money, that is the problem. The mental holding of money, that's the problem. And again, it says enjoyment of pleasure is not a problem, but craving for pleasurable things. Craving means thinking about a lot, needing a lot, wanting a lot. Okay? To crave, the verb to crave means to want something very, very much, to need it a lot, to want it a lot. So again, he says, Buddhism says that craving is the problem. Wanting something too much, needing it too much, that's the problem. And the next sentence says the focus of Buddhist economics. So this is the point of the article. This is what the article is about. It's about the idea of Buddhist economics or Buddhist influenced economics. So the focus of Buddhist economics, therefore, is simplicity and nonviolence. Okay, so he's comparing Buddhist economics with normal economics. So normal economics focuses on money and things, right? Materialist, money and things. That's normal economics. Buddhist economics focuses on simplicity and nonviolence. So they're different foci. All right. And then the next paragraph says for the modern economist and consumer, this is very difficult to understand. So for the normal economist, it's difficult to understand Buddhist economics. They, normal economists, are used to measuring the standard of living by the amount of annual consumption. Okay, standard of living is a common phrase, very, very common. Standard of living means how well you live. Right? It means how much you have in normally. So, rich people have a high standard of living, right? They have very nice cars. They have big houses. They have a lot of good food. It's a high standard of living. It means high level of money, high level of things. And a low standard of living is the opposite. It means you don't have much money. You don't have many things. So it means how well you live. How good is your life? So normal economists, they measure standard of living. They measure how good is your life by the amount of annual consumption. Annual means yearly, every year. It means in 1 year. Annual in 1 year. And consumption means buying in this case. In business, consumption means buying. So, economists, if you buy a lot, then you have a lot of money and you have a high standard of living, right? So, if you buy a lot during 1 year, you have a high annual consumption. They say you have a high standard of living. Okay, and if you have a low standard of living, they say you have a low annual consumption. You don't buy very much during the year. So they assume, they believe that a man who consumes more is better off than a man who consumes less. So this is the normal economic idea in the United States, in Europe, in most capitalist countries. They think a man who buys more is better off. Better off means has a better life, has a better situation, is happier. Say, I'm better off now means I'm happier now. I have a better life now. So, economists think a man who buys more, who consumes more, has a better life than a man who buys less, who consumes less. This is the basic idea in a lot of the world now. Okay, but a Buddhist economist would consider this approach excessively irrational, not rational, not intelligent. Because consumption is only a means, a method to human well-being, to human happiness. The aim should be to obtain, to get the maximum well-being, the maximum happiness, with the minimum of consumption. So, Buddhist economists think the best method is to get a lot of happiness with less buying, less consuming. And finally, last sentence says, the less toil there is, the more time and strength is left for artistic creativity. Okay, toil, the less toil there is. Toil means hard work, difficult work. It has a negative feeling, like work you don't like. So the Buddhist economists think that it's good to work less, but get a lot of happiness. So that's the idea. It's the difference. So for normal economists, working more and more and more, making more and more and more money, buying more and more and more things, all that is good. All that brings happiness. But the Buddhist economist thinks that working less but getting more happiness is best. So you get a lot of happiness but less work. That's the perfect situation. Okay, this is from a book called Small is Beautiful by E.F. Schumacher. The book is not about Buddhist economists. It's about a small economics. It's about living more simply. It's a great book, very classic book on economics. I recommend it. Small is Beautiful. Okay, and then next, after the quote here, we have the next sentence. I admit that my recipe for economic success is quite different than the advice you'll get from most people. So this is me writing now. Okay, bookstores are filled with books about making money and getting rich, but they all come with certain basic philosophical assumptions. Assumptions, something you believe deeply, but you don't think about it. An assumption is something you believe, but don't think about. Maybe it's wrong, but you believe it very strongly. That's an assumption. So most books about business have certain assumptions, certain deep beliefs. And they don't talk about the assumptions. They don't talk about the deep beliefs. For example, most books, business books, believe that more money is always good. They don't say that directly, but indirectly, they do say that. They believe more money is always good. That is an assumption. Maybe it's wrong. Okay, so, and that's what I say, mainly more money is always better. And that the key to success is to be rich. That's an assumption. That's a belief, an opinion. It's only an opinion. Okay, then I say, even books that I recommend, such as The 4-Hour Workweek, it's a good book, The 4-Hour Workweek, or Your Portable Empire, another great book. Both books have underlying philosophy of getting rich. Underlying means indirect, means not obvious, not on the surface, but it means deep down. So these books, The 4-Hour Workweek and Your Portable Empire, they don't talk about their basic philosophy directly, but it's obvious, it's clear. The basic philosophy is to get rich. Getting rich is good. That's the underlying philosophy. It's the common philosophy. It's the basic philosophy. So underlying means deep, basic. Okay. All of these writers are firmly centered in mainstream capitalist thinking. Mainstream means normal society, normal culture. What is most popular? So it's different in different countries. In San Francisco, gay marriage is mainstream. It's normal. It's popular. It's accepted. Everybody thinks it's okay. In other cities, that is not mainstream. It's not normal and popular and accepted. Okay, so mainstream means sort of the middle of the culture, what everyone agrees on, what everyone accepts, what everyone believes. Okay, so most people in most countries believe that getting rich is good and it's important and that it's the key to success. Okay, next paragraph. My philosophy is essentially that of a Buddhist economist. So I think more like a Buddhist economist, which is true. While others speak of success and wealth, my concern is liberation, freedom. And when I speak of liberation, when I speak of freedom, I mean financial liberation, okay? Money freedom. Physical liberation means your body is free. You can move, you can go where you want, you can do what you want. Emotional liberation. It means your feelings are open and free. You feel happy. You feel love. You feel connection. Mental liberation. It means your ideas and beliefs are free, right? You don't just follow the government. You don't only follow your parents' thinking. You have your own ideas. You are an independent thinker. That's mental freedom. And ultimately, spiritual liberation. Ultimately means finally. Finally. Finally, spiritual liberation. Spiritual meaning religious or philosophical, meaning with philosophy, means the deepest level of freedom, of liberation. In the next paragraph, it's important to understand the profound difference between seeking wealth and seeking liberation. Profound means strong, deep, and meaningful. So profound means very meaningful, very significant, very important. The important difference, the profound difference. You need to understand the important difference, the profound difference between seeking wealth, seeking money, 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 and seeking liberation, freedom. Okay. So mainstream financial advice, meaning normal financial advice, focuses on more, more, more. More money, more houses, more clothes, more food, more everything. Then I say, however, my starting point is always less, less, less. So I focus on less, not more. Simplicity is the core of my approach to financial freedom, financial liberation. Core means the center, the center. So simplicity is the center of my approach. It's the most important part of my approach. It's the core of my approach to be free with your money, to have enough money to be free. So learn to need less, and you automatically become more free. And at the end of the paragraph, we have the word gadgets. Learn to need fewer gadgets. A gadget is a thing, but it's a special kind of thing. A gadget is usually an electronic thing, like a little machine. The idea of a little machine, a little electronic machine. It's a general word. For example, a cell phone is a gadget. An iPod is a gadget. A digital camera is a gadget. Right? These are small little machines, small little electronic things. We call all of these things gadgets. Gadgets. The idea is a gadget is not necessary. Gadgets are not necessary. They are fun, maybe. They are useful, maybe. Sometimes not useful. But they are small little machines that are not necessary. Okay, on the next page, we see the word simplify. Simplify, simplify, simplify. To simplify, a verb, means to make more simple, right? To become more simple. So this is advice. You need to simplify your life. Make your life more simple. This is the core of my method for success. Again, core means center, most important part. Okay, so then I say, before you worry about debt elimination, the word debt, D-E-B-T, the B is quiet. The B is silent. It's pronounced debt, debt, debt. A debt elimination means to get rid of debt, right? Elimination means you make something disappear, you destroy something, you eliminate it. And debt means money you borrow from other people, right? And must pay back. For example, a credit card. You have a credit card and you borrow money. You borrow $1,000. Now you have $1,000 of debt, right? You owe $1,000. You must pay back $1,000. You have $1,000 of debt. Debt. Okay, then the next part I say, before you worry about working fewer hours or making more money, simplify every aspect of your life. Aspect means part. Simplify every part of your life, every aspect of your life. Aspect means part. Persistently. Persistently means you never quit, without quitting, without stopping. Means you never stop. Persistently means you keep trying again and again and again. So keep trying to simplify again and again and again. Never quit. That's persistently. And then the second word, relentlessly, is very close to persistently. Relentlessly means you never stop. Never stop means always doing something. You're doing it all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time, relentlessly. Nothing can stop you. And that's an adverb, ly, so it's how you do an action. Okay, then the next word is pare. Pare away all that is unnecessary. To pare means to cut away. Pare away means to cut away. Cut away all that is unnecessary. Pare it away, cut it away. In the next paragraph, this is the basis for liberation. The basis means it's the most important point. It's the central idea, the most important idea or action, the basis. So this action, these actions are the basis for liberation. They are the most important things for freedom. Okay, next paragraph. On the other hand, if you simplify drastically, you'll find that financial liberation is much easier than you thought. Drastically means very, very much, or very, very strongly, or very, very extremely. So simplify drastically means simplify a lot, simplify strongly, not just a little bit, drastically. Okay, and then finally, the next paragraph. If you do this, you'll find that you are much less stressed about money. To be stressed means to be worried. To be stressed means to be worried about. Stressed about money means worried about money. And finally, the last word, it says, you'll find that you have many more options in life. It's easier to save money, easier to do the things you always put off doing. Easier to do the things you always put off doing. To put off something, put off doing something, means you delay it. Delay, D-E-L-A-Y. Right? It means you wait. You wait to do it. You don't do it now. You wait. You put off doing it. Right? Say, oh, I put off my trip to Europe. It means I'm not doing it now. I'm waiting to do it later. To put off means to wait to do later. So if you have less stress, if you have more freedom, you will finally do those things that you put off doing in the past. Okay, that is the end of the vocabulary for financial liberation. You'll see that you can also get all of our English lessons, the complete original effortless English lessons at www.effortlessenglishclub.com. There are a lot of lesson sets in the original lessons, like over 40. Okay. Enjoy and then listen to the audio and mini story lessons.